Good morning, guys. Good to see you again. TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. And this is the day we meet, right? So, today we are going to continue working on our unit, Big Cities, Big Challenges. And before we get into our topic, into the future tense, into the phrasal verbs, we're going to start acknowledging that today is a special day. But first of all, let me introduce you to the team who's with me today so that you guys know who is going to be helping us out. We have here Gabriel to help us with the computer skills, and we have Renata who's here to answer your questions and to mediate our conversation. So, whenever I ask you any question or I ask you guys for some answer, feel free to type it so that Renata can see it and she can mediate our talks, okay? One other thing, I was very disappointed. I got no homework replies. But I'm not going to give up. I'm going to give you different chances to do it. Because you had the homework and it was based on the text, and I was hoping you guys would send me some answers. But I'm going to try it again. Okay? I'm doing everything in English, but if you guys find it difficult, if you need explanations in Portuguese, if you want me to talk slower, anything you guys need, just type and Renata will let me know. Okay? By the way, my name is Alhandra, as you can see, okay? And we're together for these moments. I also have special news. Beginning next week, you guys are going to have meetings, encounters with teacher Luciano, so that you can practice the oral skill as well, so that you can ask your questions if you have any doubts, and you can get the opportunity to talk in English, okay? But we're going to schedule it for next week, and you guys are going to get all the information you need. So don't worry about that. Just these first things for us to get started. Renata, tudo bem por aí? Tudo? Ok? Alguma coisa, se eles pedirem em português alguma coisa, Renata avisa pra gente. Okay, you guys. So now, as I was saying, today is a special day, right? What day is today? Let me see if you guys can answer this. What day is today? And Renata is going to let me know. Renata, I'm asking a question. Eu fiz uma pergunta para ele, eles têm que responder aí, okay? What day is today? It's a special day. I don't mean the date. The date we all know. I just want to know if you guys are aware that there is a special celebration. Come on, don't leave me hanging here. Don't leave me talking alone. I'm going to ask one more time. What day is today? Aren't you guys excited for today? For this special occasion? No one knows? I'm very disappointed. Okay, so since I got no answers, I'm going to move on to the slide. Gabriel, can you move on to the next slide? So anyway, today is Valentine's Day, everybody, right? Valentine's Day in Brazil, because it's not the same day for all over the world. And I don't know if you have a special celebration for today, or if you guys don't care about that, you're too young for that, but it's Valentine's Day. It's important to notice that the idea of Valentine's in Brazil varies a little from the idea of Valentine's Day in other countries, right? First of all, our day is not precisely Valentine's Day. And second of all, for us, it's more of a romantic day, whereas for other countries in the world, it's a day for celebrating love in all of its forms. So people give cards for friends and for parents, for relatives. In Brazil, it's more of a couple day, right? It's a romantic celebration. We also don't call it Valentine's Day. It's not due to the saint, to Saint Valentine's. So we call it a different name. But I have two questions. And then we're going to see a text about that. And you guys, if you don't know the answer, you're going to see the answer in the text. The questions are, do you know when Valentine's Day is celebrated in the United States? Important to say that not only in the United States, right? In many countries all over the world. And two, do you happen to know why we celebrate it in a different date in Brazil? Why is it different? So I'm going to give you guys like 30 seconds to see if you can answer those two questions. If any of you know when Valentine's Day is celebrated, and if you have any guesses on why we celebrate it in a different date. Gabriel, deixa só a tela para os meninos visualizarem. Ok? Renatinha, ninguém. Excellent, girl. That's it. Sure. Okay, so I got one correct answer. Bia, you're right. It's February 14th, the day we celebrate it. And do you know why it is different? Why did we change from February 14th to June 12th? One more minute, okay? You guys are going to read? You guys are going to read a simple text on Valentine's Day in Brazil. The text is written by a Brazilian person, and I want you guys to take a look at the text, to read it, and to find those two answers, okay? When is it celebrated? But I'm aware that Bia already got the answer correct. And why Brazil celebrates it in a different date from the rest of the world. Okay? So, a couple minutes for you to read the text. Okay, you guys, did you get to read it? Was it enough time? I just want to let you know that this is not from our text, from our book, okay? This is an extra reading activity. Did you get to read it? You guys are too quiet today. I want to see the chat going crazy with answers and messages. Bia, help me out, girl. So, in case you guys haven't finished reading, we're going to read together, okay? And you're going to see the reason why Valentine's Day in Brazil is celebrated in different dates. The text says, most people around the world celebrate Valentine's Day on February 14th. Nice job, Bia. But not Brazilians. In Brazil, Dia dos Namorados, Valentine's Day equivalent in Portuguese, is celebrated on June 12th. But why? Well, there are a few reasons. The first and more important one is the carnival. The biggest event in the country takes place during the 4 days before Ash Wednesday. Did you guys know the term Ash Wednesday? Quarta-feira de cinzas. Which falls between February 4th and March 10th, depending on the year. Valentine's Day would probably go unnoticed amongst carnival. So in order to avoid conflicts, it was established that Valentine's Day would fall on June 14th. The romantic date started being celebrated in Brazil in 1949. Another reason is its proximity to St. Anthony's Day in June 13th. For those who don't know, in Brazil and Portugal, St. Anthony is known as a patron saint of marriage. The saint is recognized for blessing couples with happy and prosperous marriages and for helping out single women to find a good husband and or boyfriend. There is an interesting old ritual called simpatia in the country in which single women would make all sorts of promises to the saint and even keep his image upside down until the grace was given. Dia dos Namorados is celebrated pretty much the way the date is celebrated in the US and other parts of the world, with gifts, flowers, jewelry, and chocolates. So if you happen to be in Brazil during this date, happy Valentine's Day. Okay? It's a simple text, simple to understand. And in this exercise, we can practice some reading skills. We can practice skimming and scanning, right? But for this specific question, when I ask what day is Valentine's Day celebrated in the world, you don't have to read the entire text in detail, right? You can look just for a specific piece of information. You can just pass your eyes through the text and look for a date. So this is a strategy that you use for reading. When you're taking tests or whenever you're reading to find a specific piece of information, you use this technique because you don't want to waste time. You don't need to read the entire text if you're looking for one piece of information. This is good strategy for when you're taking important tests, when time is a big issue, because you can read the question and then from the question you're going to answer, you go to the text. This is a time saver because you know what you're looking for, and it also helps you focus on what's important. Okay? Of course, when we're reading a book for pleasure, we are not looking for specific pieces of information. Then we read everything. When I'm reading about a topic that I'm really interested in, I'm not looking for specific pieces of information. I want to read the whole thing. But many times in life, we look for specific information. So it's important to know what we're looking for so that the whole print image can help us find what we need. Okay? Okay, so moving on. Now let's get to the correction of our homework. Like I said before, I was hoping to get many answers from you guys, but I got no single reply. No answer whatsoever. I hope this changes. I want to get to know you more and more. I want you to be able to give you feedback on your written language, okay? But in the end, I'm going to emphasize that you guys have an email to send me messages and homework and whatever, okay? So anyway, let's correct the homework from our previous class. We had the text, remember? And our text was about big cities, the difficulties of living in big cities, the problems, the necessities, the fact that the urbanization process has been happening very fast, and countries with economical success, they all went through urbanization. So, this is just the overall idea of the text we talked about last class. We also checked on the vocabulary of that text, remember? So, today we're going to get to the answers. So let's correct. I'm sure you guys did it, right? You've been silent so far. So I want a simple yes or no for Renata, okay? Did you do your homework? Do you have the answers for these questions? Type in yes or no and be honest, okay? Let me see some livelihood in this chat. You guys are sleeping. I'm getting yeses! Good! Good morning, guys. Good to hear from you. Okay. So we're going to correct it, okay? I'm happy to know you guys did it. So the first question was, what is the author's opinion as far as urbanization is concerned? Which challenges generated by development are presented in the first part of the text? And the second answer says, according to the author of the text, John Claus, why shouldn't the city's growth be seen simply as a threat, but instead as a transformative source of prosperity and sustainable development of all human communities? First things first. Is there any word, any vocabulary here that you didn't understand, that you had to look for in a dictionary, or that you still don't know the meaning? If there is, type the word and I'm going to give you the explanation, okay? Anyway, let's go to the answers for the questions. If anything pops up, Renata lets me know. So, these are the answers suggested by the book. The book says answer in Portuguese, but if you guys feel free, if you feel confident that writing the answer in English is not an extra challenge, write it in English, okay? Because I'm sure you're able to do it in Portuguese. So doing it in English would be the extra challenge. But anyway, for letter A, the answer would be in the first paragraph of the text, right? Because based on what the author wrote, no country has reached economical prosperity without going through urbanization. However, some challenges are related to the socio-economical patterns and to highly unsustainable environments. Okay? And for letter B, according to the text, the growth of the cities can also be seen as a transformative source of prosperity and sustainable growth for all humans. When carefully organized and managed, the process of urbanization in itself can be a disruptive innovation. Remember disruptive? This was one of the words we studied last class. And it can offer solutions for global challenges that are more meaningful in our era, in our times. Okay? Let's go to question number 5. Question number 5. Now, you were supposed to answer in English, indeed. The questions were, in the third part of the text, the author presents some opportunities that cities of the future can bring. Cite 3 of them, 3 opportunities. And what is the role of the PPPs concerning the cities of the future? Exercise 6, I can only correct if you guys send it to me because it's personal, right? So write a summary in English containing the most important information presented by the text. The answers to number 5, Gabriel? So, the answers to number 5, A, to cite 3, economic growth, improving living standards, and prosperity. And for B, the PPPs are viable sources to attend urban demands. They are a source for financing infrastructure projects in the sectors of energy, transportation, etc. Okay, so PPPs are a requirement for feasible solutions to address forthcoming urban demands. Remember, forthcoming, they are coming in the future. They are an increasing source of finance for large-scale infrastructure projects across energy, transport, and other sectors. Okay? I hope you guys didn't find this exercise difficult. With this, we are wrapping up our text activities on big cities and big challenges. The first text, okay? Because you guys are going to have to do reading number 2. Gabriel, can you move on, please? And our grammar topic for the class, which we also started last week. We're going to think about our future. Think about the future. Anyway, I'm just going to make a recollection here. We're just going to recall some of the things we've seen last class, okay? We had talked about the possibility of talking about the future in 4 different tenses. You can talk about the future using simple present, present continuous, future with will, and future with going to, right? Each one with its specific idea and with its specific rule. We're going to just make an overview of what we've seen last class, okay? And then if you guys have any questions, you can just let Renata know. And if I'm talking too fast or anything, please let me know. Please, Gabriel, can you move on? So anyway, we have the future simple. This is taken from our textbook, okay? So the emphasis now is on the simple future simple, with will and going to. Because the other 2 tenses, they are actually related to the present, even though they can hold future ideas. But the 2 tenses that are specific for the future are the futures with will and be plus going to. So we talked about the general idea. I just want to go very quickly by the grammatical rule, because I believe you guys are very much aware by now on how to work with the future with will and the future with going to. So you can see on the first box how to organize your sentences with will. You have the subject, then you have will, then you have a verb in the base form. What is the base form? The infinitive without to. Okay? So an example of an affirmative sentence would be, I will win the game. The example of a question would be, will I win the game? And the negative would be, I won't win the game. I always find it interesting when you have these questions and the subject is I, like we're asking ourselves questions. But every now and then we do ask ourselves questions, right? Anyway, will you win the game? Would be a more common topic of conversation. And when do we use the future with will? We also discussed this last class. To make predictions, right? I am imagining the future. I think that by the year 2050 maybe, I don't know. I think cars will fly. This is a prediction, right? I am talking about a future based on my imagination. I don't have precise hints that this is really going to happen. So for predictions, I use will. To make promises, when I have sentences that start with I promise, I swear, I will do something. Okay? And also to offer something. When I say, will you have some coffee? So also to offer something. The example of a promise, I promise I will never do it again. This is a common promise. Next, to express sudden decisions, immediate decisions, snap decisions, we say in English. When you want to talk about a decision that you just made at the second, you call it a snap decision, okay? So you use will to talk about snap decisions. So I see you holding a very heavy box, and I say, wait, I'll help you. So this is a snap decision, okay? I also use will for that. In the example in the book, the water is boiling. I will make the coffee. Now, the future with going to. Structure, also simple, right? You have the verb to be. Whenever you have the verb to be is going to be your indicator of a question and your indicator of the negative as well. So the structure would be subject plus be going to plus infinitive. So again, the infinitive without to, because you already have going to, right? So we can't have tutus, if you understand what I mean. So the affirmative, I am going to join the Navy. Do you guys know the Navy? We have the Army, which is inland. We have the Air Force, and we have the Navy, which goes on the water. Okay? So I am going to join the Navy. Because this is a decision, this is a plan, an intention, I use the future with going to. In order to turn this into a question, I just have to replace the subject with the verb to be. So for a question, I say, are you going to join the Navy? Verb to be first, and then the subject, okay? You just switch. And for the negative, you say, I am not going to join the Navy. And when do we use the future with going to? To talk about plans and intentions. After I graduate, I'm going to study English abroad. I thought it was going to say after I graduate, I'm going to study English. Come on. You got to study English now. When you graduate, you are already able to speak English perfectly. But abroad, that's fine. Maybe after graduation. And you also use the future with going to make predictions based on authentic data. To make predictions based on actual information. So, it's cold. I think it's going to snow. I have specific data. I have facts that make me believe that it is going to snow. So it's cold. There, your data. Therefore, it is going to snow. Okay? Guys, are you understanding? Yeses or no's, please, for me. And not that they're going to type yes or no, okay? If they are understanding. Okay. She's going to let me know. If you have any questions, now's the time. Gabriel, can you move on? The next slide. Okay. Yes? Okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you. I love it when I get responses from you. I don't feel so lonely. So, I just have some examples, okay? To kind of get the general idea of what we have been discussing. For example, When do we use the simple present to express the future? Whenever you have a timetable piece of information. Do you understand the timetable? When I get a chart, when I get a schedule, for example, your classes. You have a schedule, right? For your classes. English at 8, English at 9, some other subject at 10. So, because you have a timetable, if you are going to talk about this information, you are going to use the simple present, even though you are talking about the future. So whenever you have a schedule, when you have hours for stuff to happen, and you know this in advance, you can use the simple present to talk about this schedule. Okay? So, in the example, excuse me, does the train leave for Manchester at 7:30? See? Does the train leave? That shows simple present. Does this train leave? Why? Because she is basing her question on a timetable. She saw somewhere that the train to Manchester leaves at 7:30. And then the answer, no, this one leaves, simple present, for London in 5 minutes. The train to Manchester leaves from platform 2 at 7:30. Okay? So simple present for known future information, for timetable type of information. Next, then we have the present continuous. The present continuous you use for immediate futures. Things that are going to happen right away. They are very close to happen. And they are plans. They are planned events. Something I have decided to do and I am going to do in a short time. Like in the example, what are you doing tomorrow evening? I am meeting Mary at 6:30. Then we're going to the cinema to see the new Star Wars film. Okay? So present continuous for immediate, close, future events. Next. Then we have situations to use will. We've just covered those. This example is specifically about using will to talk about promises, swears, right? I pinky promise I will love you forever. Since it's Valentine's Day, I thought it was romantic. The idea of pinky promise, this is very childish, right? But kids, they think that when you make a pinky promise, you can't lie. So I pinky promise you I will love you forever. That's will for promises, for when you are swearing, promising to do something. Gabriel, one more. One other example, when I make a snap decision. I decided at this moment. I wasn't planning. I just decided, but I'm going to do it. So I use will. Look at the price. I'll try it on and I'll buy it. This is the decision I made at the moment. A snap decision. Okay? Future with will. Now, for the future with going to, I have to have evidence. I have to have facts, data that give me proof that this future is coming to us. For example, look at those clouds. It's going to rain in a few minutes. It's going to rain because I have evidence, right? So since it is a supported future, I use going to. And to wrap up the first half of our activity, I'd like to see you guys talking about your plans for the future, okay? When we talk about future plans, we use going to, right? Because we are planning. So for this activity, I need you guys to join this address. You can either type it or use the QR code. I hope the QR code works, guys. This is a first attempt. But I want you guys to either type it or to use the QR code, and it's going to guide you to a different page. There, you are going to type your answer, your future plan, and we are going to share it here. Ideally, you can identify yourself, so I'm going to know who's answering what, okay? So I'm going to give you a couple minutes to think about a future plan and to try to join me at this address. Let's do it. It's nice because we can interact, okay? So let's try it. I'll give you 2 minutes. If it's not working, let me know, okay? Gabriel, can you switch to the website? The crew here is bilingual. Everybody understands and talks in English. It's awesome. That's it. Great. So this is what I'm going to see, guys. I hope I can see your posted pieces of information. Let me know if you're having any trouble. Gabriel, deixa só a tela. Gente, deixa eu ver se eles estão conseguindo. Isso é antigo, né? But I think, guys, you can't see the address anymore, right? I have to get back to the address. Okay, sorry about that. Guys, is it working? I've seen one answer so far, but is it working for you? Yes? Hello? Don't leave me here all by myself. Is it working? I've seen one answer so far. Okay. There. Just a second. It's going up. There. Yes, guys. Is it working? I can only switch to the other screen when you are done. So I need to know from you if it's working. Is everything okay? Easy to access? Aha! Thank you, Cecily. It's working. Okay. Can I switch to the image with your answers, or do you still need to see the QR code and the address? I'm going to switch, okay, to see how many answers I've got. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But I want to get more than 6. Come on, you guys. Isn't this first alpha? Don't disappoint me. Oh, come on. I need more answers than that. Perfect. And I have comments. Excellent, guys. No one else is doing it? Are you guys doing it still? Oh, time's up. I got more. Okay. I'm going to work on the answers I've got, okay? Guys, I love when we can use technology in our favor, right? So, it is very important that we're able to interact. I can get your answers. So, I love that we're doing this, okay? I'm so glad you guys could do it. Let me know if you enjoy this as well. But anyway, let's see here some of the answers we've got, okay? One person says, I am going to study abroad. Great idea. That's an awesome experience. When do you intend to study abroad? Soon or when you graduate? And do you have like a language preference? One specific language that you want to learn or to practice when you live abroad? Or maybe you're interested in a specific country because of the topic you want to study in the future? That's awesome. Someone says, I'm going to join in a college. You all are, I'm sure. And do you already have a precise idea of what you want to study, or is this a decision in the making? You're still considering possibilities. It's a magic moment when you try to picture what the future holds ahead, right? And there are so many possibilities. That's awesome, guys. Someone says, I'm going to study in an American university. Awesome. Are you starting the process already? Are you already getting to know universities? You know that the universities in the Ivy League, you can go there for tours to get to visit the university, the campus before you go. And these visits are amazing. It makes me want to go back to studying in the university again. Once we traveled to Boston to visit Harvard and the MIT because of a nephew I have, and he planned to go to those countries, and we took those tours for parents who want to enroll their kids, and it's magic. I mean, you feel like going there. Awesome. I have one. I'm going to study at Unicamp or USP. Fantastic. Great universities. Awesome. I got an extra answer. Yes, last year I visited Brown University. Oh, fantastic. Okay, nice. And someone says, I'm also going to travel around the world. Oh, take me with you. I love traveling. I'm thinking of a university in the U.S. Awesome. I have a future medicine student. I'm going to med school. Okay. Do you intend to join the med school in Fortaleza? UFC is a fantastic course. And we have 2 students who are going to med school. Awesome. I'm going to learn sign language. I think that's fantastic. Yeah. And there are good courses in Fortaleza too. I also intend to start taking sign language, but I haven't made this plan come through. I need the motivation, but I think it's fantastic. Probably in college, I'm going to study medicine. After graduating, my plans are to get married and have kids. Fantastic. Great plans. Yeah. Let me see if I have it. Someone says, I'm planning to achieve all my goals. Man, we all are. Let's achieve all our goals. Fantastic. Very general, but we're here to support you on that. And let's all achieve all our goals. The dream to learn sign language. Awesome. The person who talks about med school says that they intend to go to USP, maybe UFC, or the Ivy League. Yeah, fantastic. Yale, Princeton, awesome. I guess I've read them all. Guys, I love this. I love talking to you. I'm going to college in another country. You still didn't tell me where. And I'm going to study at Unicamp. Okay, I think I've read them all. Fantastic. Do you guys enjoy this kind of activity? Is it okay for you? Easy to access? Let me know, because I love doing this kind of thing. Getting in touch with you guys. Okay? So, let's take a pause to drink some water, have something to eat, and then we'll be back in 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Okay? See you then.